He is so good. Look at this guy. We are live. I want to thank you guys for being here. It's a beautiful day, Monday. Hopefully you had a great weekend. I'm still here at the glorious Thunder Pig Ranch in Rockaway Beach, Oregon. I'm fortunate to have my family here, safe and sound from the fires. We were evacuated last week and got a great place out at the Oregon coast. So we're safe, we're good. Thanks to Keith and Cheryl for hooking my sons and I up and my pets and I up with a great place to be. I do want to thank Five Star Guitars. They sponsor this show all the time. Today is a different show. They may not want to sponsor this because we've got so many adventures that should be M-rated, MA-rated, if you will. But we'll see. I do want to thank Five Star Guitars. They've been incredibly supportive of this show. Five Star Guitars, Audix microphones, thank you again. If you're interested in playing guitar, check it out. Go to www.fivestarguitars.com. They've got guitars, lessons, repairs, everything, and no sales tax. So you'll save a bunch of money, you'll support the locals, and you'll support this show. If you have not yet, subscribe to this channel right here on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/allaccesslive with Kevin Rankin and subscribe to the channel. You're going to see over 110 episodes of amazing guests and none more amazing than my next guest. My buddy, my homie, my brother from another mother, I want to introduce to you, Mr. Mike May. Thanks for being here.
Hi, guys.
Hey, man. Hey, listen, along with the quarantine, Mike also has there's been a shortage on toothbrushes, toothpaste, that kind of thing. So
yeah.
I do want to thank you for making the time. And instead of going to your dentist, your orthodontist, you spent time with us. So
glad I could make it. Thanks for having.
Fantastic.
A squirrel.
Yeah.
There. Okay. There's the real ones.
Awesome. Good deal. Good deal.
Practicing and safety first. So.
Oh, safety glasses. Okay. Oh, look at this. Are those
cracking?
Where'd you get those drumsticks?
Well, my best friend happens to be the drummer from A Flock of Seagulls, and paid him $200 to sign these for me.
Yeah, man. Look couldn't he have given you new ones that weren't just beat to crap?
That would have been $400.
Oh, I got you. Okay, so you got the little bit
all good. Yeah.
Excellent, man. How are you holding up? You holding up all right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike is back home braving the fires in the Portland area. So the air quality index is within sort of marginal limits.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nasty. And, I've got it good. I'm not down where like the major fires are. I'm in Portland. So it's really smoky. But, down south where it's all gone to HE double hockey sticks is kind of dangerous still.
Yeah. Well, I from what I understand, fires are turning on themselves. Wind's getting better, so hopefully we get to go home pretty soon. But I appreciate you taking the time to do a little distraction and hang out with me today. There are no adventures that we can go do in person today. If you were here at the beach, you could have come with me. Edgar, the pug, and I went down to the beach today, and you can actually see the ocean for the first time. Yeah. So, but there's throat's a little jacked up from the smoke is in the haze, but. Man, I've got chat open, so if people do chime in here, we might have people asking some questions. I guess we should probably start with your nickname first of all. My children know you as something different. You want to talk a little bit about where the nickname came from?
That's probably the nickname I'm most proud of.
Yeah,
for a couple reasons. One is I didn't come up with it. And they did, and it means a lot. It touched my heart. It did.
You're proud of that one.
I'm so proud of that. I'm not kidding. You might know me as a kidder sometimes, but this one I'm really proud of, and I'm not kidding.
What's the nickname?
Dirty Uncle Mike.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Michelle Scott is here. She just hopped on, so she says greetings.
All the way from Florida.
Oh my goodness, yes. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for chiming in. I noticed that Iris Harrison is also watching. So Iris, that brings up a good point. People that may not know Mike Mother effing May.
Wait a minute. I thought that stood for mighty fine.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Well, Mike MFing May is Yeah, Julie Jackson says that nickname sticks. So you're Iris. Speaking of Iris, you have a lot of history in radio, and when you and I first met, you were DJing our dear friend Dane Haas' bachelor party, or no, well, wedding reception or bachelor party, one of those two.
I did both.
Yeah, I think I may have been at the reception. At the bachelor party, that was different. Was that the one that you got stabbed at?
No, I was a different stabbing, but I was at the one that when you played at the bar, I was the DJ for that. Nobody stabbed me that night.
Not that you can remember. But you and I didn't get to meet that night.
I did in passing.
Yeah, and you're really aside from like the nasty nicknames, you're known as like really one of the go-to sort of responsible DJs in the area, wedding DJs, event DJs, all that kind of thing. But you have a past in radio, right? So
yeah, and thank you for that. I appreciate it.
I want to go back to radio days, man. Tell me about where, because you had a different alter ego, you had an alias, right, for radio.
I did when I started. I was in Eugene at KZEL. It was classic rock, and night before I was supposed to go on air, I thought, I don't have a radio name. And I thought, if I'm going to be on the radio, I got to have a cool name. My friend Chris Rainey and I, she came up with it. I'll give her the credit for it. And she came up with Race Banner.
Okay.
I thought, yeah, I like that. I was that guy in Eugene. And then when I came up to Portland and got on at KUFO, which couldn't believe that. Okay.
How did that happen? How did you get the gig at KUFO? Because for those of you outside the Portland area, KUFO was like the big rock.
It was. Uh-oh. So there's Kev's backstage passes, some of them. He's at the coast, and internet's a bit wonky there. So
So sorry, my internet is a little sketchy here, so I just dropped out. I had just asked you how you got into the big rock radio station KUFO in Portland.
I knew somebody.
Okay.
Dave knew me, who was program director there for a long time. I knew him from Eugene, and I quit all my jobs in Eugene. My radio, I had a little TV thing going on too. I met a lady, I fell in love. I just said, goodbye, Eugene, came up here. Dave knew me, called me one day. I was arresting shoplifters for Payless drugstores. That was my job, and of all people. And Dave said, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? I said, I don't know. Are you going to give me a job? And he goes, yeah, as a matter of fact. And mind blown, because that was the station in the early 90s. We got incredible ratings for it being a rock station. It was kind of unbelievable. But anyway, so yeah, Dave hired me.
But you knew him from before, so was he trusting that your reputation preceded you well, or was it that he knew that you were a killer DJ and knew that you could hold your own?
That's a good question. I never did ask him because I didn't want him to give it too much thought and maybe reconsider. Like, ooh.
But how many years have you done radio already by that point?
Only about 2.5.
All right. Wow.
It was amazing. It was really cool. So yeah, he hired me, and he must have been desperate, put me on air, and I had so much fun. I got to work with like Glenn Shannon. I grew up listening to Shannon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was cool. And then Prescott, Bill Prescott was a good friend of mine even before KUFO. My old roommate in Eugene, Al Scott, and I went down and spent a week with Bill in Sacramento, and hung out with Aerosmith and Guns N' Roses. And from that point on, I was hooked.
I was just going to ask you, since you're a big fan of name dropping here, you want to talk about some of these adventures? Because I know that way before you and I met and you got to hang out with 80s pop stars, you were doing all these really cool rock shows where you got to hang out. You mentioned Guns N' Roses and Aerosmith. Did you hang with those guys at all?
Yeah, sorry. I think something flew in front of me. It was briefly. We got lucky that day. It was when GNR opened for Aerosmith in 88 or 89. My pass is around here somewhere, but somehow we had all access passes, and Al and I got to sit with our feet up against the stage for Guns N' Roses sound check, and there you went. I think I'm off the air. Number one fan. Wow.
I'm so sorry about that. It's a little weak internet. I'm sorry. So you're set feet up against the stage at the Aerosmith show.
Yeah, and it was during Guns N' Roses sound check.
Oh my God.
And, you know, it was the band and the guy running the soundboard and Al and I. And it was outside, and, you know, my mind was blown. And I got a couple picks. I collect guitar picks, but got them from Izzy and that hairy guy, Slash. He's a Guns N' Roses guitar player. Are you reading any of the comments that are popping through on here?
I am. Are you seeing them?
Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't.
Yeah.
I got a DILF.
Oh, is that you? Yeah. Yeah. So there are comments on both sides, right? So you've got Facebook and YouTube comments, and Destiny Thomas says DILF alert, which is great.
What the heck is that? Is that like a dill pickle? Dill?
Yeah. Man, this is great though. Destiny Timius asks Coke cans or Pepsi cans?
Coke cans. And you know why?
Why?
Before I became a GNR fan, I was a Pepsi drinker, and then I saw a picture and Axl was holding a Coke can.
So you switched.
I'm such a poser.
Yeah.
So I switched brands because I thought, oh, Axl, if he's drinking Coke, I will too.
Nice. Yeah. That is awesome.
I have no pride.
Well, when you and I first started hanging out, I knew you were a huge Guns N' Roses fan. Appetite for Deception, the local tribute, which is an incredible Guns N' Roses tribute. You and I have gone to a lot, but you are such a hardcore fan that it took me a while for me to even convince you to go see a tribute to the band, right? Because you were paying allegiance to, they weren't around anymore. I mean, they took their time to get a new record out, and they changed lineups and all that. But I'm sorry, this is going to be tough to talk to you because I keep seeing these comments from Destiny.
I know. I'm laughing. Normally I can be pretty cool, calm, and collected, but good God, Mike, date my mom.
Yeah, that is cute.
Oh boy.
Half the people that know us on the road think that you and I are a couple, which is kind of embarrassing, but
it kind of is, even though we know we're not.
Yeah.
I kind of get that look sometimes, and I don't know, we might need T-shirts that say "No, we're not" or something like that.
Not with him. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But and I've been mistaken for you a couple times when we're not on the road. So it's good that we can be seen together at the same time, so people know we're separate entities.
I should ask: do you get made mistaken for Guy Fieri at all? Like that's one that, because your hair is longer now, but when mine's spiky, yeah, that's usually the one
I never did. Cena calls me Rutger Hauer.
Oh, well, you do look like Rutger Hauer. It's not. Do the big bug eye thing up in the eyes and the camera real quick. There you go. Yeah, that's
huge.
Rest in peace, Rutger Hauer.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what? Let's go back for a second to that Appetite show.
Yeah.
You were telling me about this Guns N' Roses tribute band, and I was like, yeah, forget it.
Right.
Guns N' Roses, and I went and was blown away.
Yeah, it's pretty uncanny how close they are.
It really was. And then that's when I started going to more tribute shows. And if people out there were like me and are skeptical about them, once all the crap goes away and you can go see some of the local tribute bands, amazing.
It's funny because you and I know I try to avoid controversial type stuff, but a lot of my original bandmates, my Flock of Seagulls bandmates, and bands from that era, we talk about this a lot. I see all sorts of people that chime in, weighing in about being anti-tribute, and the conversation that we oftentimes have in the tributes. I play in an AC/DC tribute. I play in a Bon Jovi tribute. I'm friends with a lot of tributes back home. It's really like Broadway plays, right? I mean, people that see theater productions off Broadway, you're not seeing the original version of Cats, right? You're not seeing even classical performers. Like Mozart died forever ago, but there are still symphonies that are actually playing Mozart, and you go see them, and it's a tribute to Mozart. A tribute to the original orchestral productions, and so if people said, I'm not going to go and support that because it's not the original, then, like you wouldn't go see whatever, the Book of Mormon, at the Schnitzer in Portland, because you'd only want to see it, on Broadway. And really those bands treat it as sort of entertainment. They're not taking it so seriously that they feel like they wrote the music and they're taking credit for it. It's just, it's a really fun entertainment-based thing. So enough of that. We don't have to talk about that. I don't need to justify playing in a tribute or those bands.
No, man, they're so good. They really are so good. The Appetite Band.
They are smoking. But the bands, though, you and I really got connected because we had a lot of mutual friends in town. Our buddy Dane connected us, and we had a lot in common. Man, I mean, music was a big thing. And if you haven't met Mike, you would not believe the collection that he's got in. He's got this collection of sort of artifacts from bands, and it's not just like posters here and there. But the dude has, guitar picks from every major guitarist on the planet that he's gotten from those guys at the shows, or he's gotten concert posters. You got every tour book from the shows that you saw since back in the 70s, right? So yeah. I don't know how that happened since you're only like 28, but
yeah, thanks, buddy.
I love talking to you about those early days, even pre-radio. When you would go and you'd see these bands, early days, way before I was ever out in the Pacific Northwest. But you got great stories. I know that. One of your friends here is talking about Toto. You and I have joked about Toto and Bobby Kimball. And,
that's my friend Isu. She lives in I hope I get this right, India.
Oh, is this the one that you play Words with Friends with?
No, it was Song Pop. It's like a name that tune thing. That's how I met her.
Yeah,
and she's a huge Bobby Kimball fan. And I think I kind of ruined it for her because I sent her that video where he's singing that's not so good.
Yeah.
But so hi, Isu. And yes, there's your mention of Toto.
Nice. That everybody's talking about the glow-in-the-dark stuff, too. Like, not only does he have this incredible music collection, but everything he owns really has some sort of glow-in-the-dark. Don't show your underwear. Don't do it.
Oh, no, there's no underwear, dude. From the waist down, I'm naked.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Here's my latest edition. Glow-in-the-dark alien head Vans.
Those, oh man, if Mike Score sees those are going to be the new Flock of Seagulls uniform. Those are wicked. Yeah, I love it. Those are cool.
So yeah, I just got those. So there's part of my glow-in-the-dark. Yeah, I've always been fascinated. I remember in the 60s, the first time I saw something glow-in-the-dark, I was about 4. And
The 60s?
Yeah, dude. I've been lying about my age. For a long time.
You look really good for 82, man. You really do. Oh my gosh, how does Chris Rainey know about corn dog?
Corn dog preceded your corn dog, believe it or not.
Okay. Mike calls my son Nolan corn dog.
I always thought that word was funny. I saw it in a movie, Night Shift with Michael Keaton.
Oh, great movie.
And he walks by this desk and there's a corn dog sitting on the desk and he stops, he looks at it, he goes, corn dog. And I don't know why I found that so hysterical, but so yeah, Chris, and that's the one who came up with my radio name.
Oh yeah, that's great banner.
So, yeah, and then Al and I morphed it into like a glow in the dark glow in the dark corn dog thermometer. That's what it was. So when we would give the temperature reading at KZEL, that's what we referenced. So corn dog goes clear back to the late 80s.
Okay.
But your corn dog's the best corn dog by far.
He's fantastic. The dude is camped out on the couch here putting together a Beatles puzzle right now.
Oh, how cute!
And the other redhead son of mine is in the other room. He just chimed into the YouTube chat here. Mike May.
I just saw that.
Caleb. So now that they're both watching and listening in, we might have to like temper some of our conversations about our adventures, but we should talk about them. Dude,
yeah, most of them we can talk about.
Have had. I should tell you this, for those of you watching, if you weren't there, 2 years ago, Mike and I went out to the Dominican Republic. I was playing with. Well, actually, this was not one of the ones that I actually played with a Flock of Seagulls or Animotion at, but the 80s in the Sand event in Dominican Republic, Punta Cana at the what's the resort? Breathless, that's right.
Yeah.
So this is like a week-long event, all these amazing bands. And the one that Mike came out to, I was invited to come and play with some of the other bands and be a guest since I did their web work, and they're all friends of mine. But this is a crazy week, right? So many bands, all the MTV VJs of the day, Downtown Julie Brown, Alan Hunter, Mark Goodman, Nina Blackwood was there, right? And this is crazy. This morning, and because I had talked on Facebook Live about the fires coming out here, I get this beautiful message from Downtown Julie Brown, making sure we're okay, sending me her contact information, making sure that my boy's all right. And so Downtown, I appreciate it. Thank you, Julie Brown, my drum student. But you, my God, dude, you were the hit of that week. Everybody there, all the actors and the actresses and all these bands. I know personally, I got amazing stories. I mean, and memories from that. You and I, we partook in really great deals. The Dominican massage therapists on the beach are cheap. They're very affordable, and so you can go for like $40 and get like an hour and a half massage and
on the beach.
On the beach, man, just looking at the ocean and drinking out of the coconut, you know. But I was going to ask if you had any memories from that trip that just really stand out to you.
It was so incredible. I don't even know which ones to throw out there. You know which ones I'm not going to throw out there.
How about musically? Like the bands that you saw that just blew your mind?
Yeah, man. It was just one show after another. And in fact, there were so many bands there. I won't name names, but like it was a band that we weren't like really that into necessarily. And we're like, let's go get a massage instead, you know? Yeah. And, but no, that was amazing. And all the activities, and Josh hung out with us for a while.
Wang Chung.
Yeah.
You made friends with Stephanie Calvert from Starship, right? You guys talked about health tips and all that.
Yeah.
Why? Michelle says you're turning red. The thing is, Michelle, the air quality is horrible back in Portland.
It's not me being nervous about the Dominican trip. Yeah, man, I just talked with everybody. You know, we'd go down to the beach at night to watch, you know, meteors over the beach. And I'm looking around at like the bands that were down there with me in the 80s when MTV came out. Me and my friends would stay up sometimes all night watching them.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, here they are, like right next to me on these recliner chairs. And it was,
you know, I chimed in about that. It was the Romantics, right? We're hanging out there. I've smoked like 6 cigars in my life, but we had Dominican cigars. You and I walked down to the beach. We're hanging out with Mike Skill and Rich Cole from Romantics and their brides. And I'll never forget that, man. We had the entire beach to ourselves, and we were sitting there watching meteor showers over the ocean, smoking these cigars. And prior to me joining these bands, right, I'm just as much a fan of these bands as you are and everybody is. So when I'm not playing, you and I are out hanging out, watching these bands, just appreciating the music. And that moment, that night on the beach, that was one of the most amazing. As long as you didn't look at the guys on the side of the beach with the AK-47s, right? The like protecting.
They were on our side.
Yeah, right. But
it was mind blowing, wasn't it? It was so surreal, especially for me.
And going out in the ocean, and we were planning on going some shark cage diving, or at least snorkeling with sharks, and so we're working on that for you, right? Because we still have we have a plan to go shark cage diving. This is one of the things Mike and I have been checking off bucket list items together because we have not only so much in common in terms of interests, but Mike and I got our asses kicked at the same time in a lot of different ways, man.
It was so weird.
It was nuts.
Like the most mind blowing thing ever to me. Like
a couple of emotional roller coasters that plowed us over, and it was nice to have commiseration with a real good friend. But
we got each other through it.
Yeah, big time. I mean, really, I do feel indebted to you and your just your support. But at the same time, we decided, you know what, we're going to go off and we're going to accomplish some stuff that we've always wanted to do. So shark cage diving is still atop that list.
Yes.
I don't think you can catch COVID from great white sharks. So we could get within 6 feet of them. We're okay.
Yeah. As long as we have our mask on.
Right. That's right. And lots of hand sanitizer.
Same thing to you. You got me through all that, you know, and it was bad. And then now look at us. It's fun except for the smoke. But yeah, man. And we need 2 more bunkmates, ideally, to go do the shark cage diving trip. So submit your resumes, and hopefully maybe we can get 2 more people to tag along.
You,
It makes it cheaper, and then that way we're traveling with two people we know instead of who knows who would end up
Right.
in our bunk.
Actually, that is true. You had mentioned that we have to get a package, right, where we can get more people. This has been Mike's go-to line, so that when we're traveling and a couple of like pretty gals like sit by us, he's like, "Hey, we really need shark cage diving partners." That one doesn't work very well.
It hasn't worked yet, but I'm stubborn.
Yeah, I appreciate that. How about some of the roller coaster events we've gone on, man? Any stand out to you?
Dude, I didn't know if you really liked me at that point because my fear of height is the worst phobia I have by far. And Chloe May is calling me, but
She can wait.
she can wait. And then you and Joe, we would go to those insane roller coasters, and you would make us wait until we could get the front car because you go up over these 1,000-foot drops, and you're hanging out over at least 1,000, maybe 2,000.
Right.
And you're looking down, and people are like little ants. And yeah, it was my hands are getting sweaty talking about that.
Oh my God.
But, yeah, and then my commentary as we're doing all of that. I remember you guys saying it wasn't like the purest of words ever.
I'm kicking myself for not recording a lot of those because they'd be great to sample and then trigger in my pad. So when I'm playing gigs, I can trigger Mike. Oh. I know where you get it from too, because I've heard your mom when she gets that wound up, and so
good one. You're such a kidder.
I'm such a kidder.
Yeah. So the roller coasters were insane, and I knew I was going to die every single time. Yet once we got off them, we'd run around and get back in that line to be the first ones again.
Do you have one that stands out to you? Which one, like, what's the most memorable to you?
The ones at Busch Gardens with Joe that time.
God,
the one in Vegas was scary. They're all scary.
Yeah.
But I don't know which the specific one that stands out. I think it was the first one we went on that was the tallest one in that park. Yeah. And I think there's 3 side by side, and we would go to the top, and that's when they would stop us.
Right.
And it just feels like you're going to fall off the edge of the universe. And that one still gives me anxiety if I think about it. If people don't understand it, go to YouTube and look up Busch Gardens Tampa Bay POV, point of view on the roller coasters. I can watch those and get dizzy and queasy watching those just on a video screen. So yeah, I think that very first one with that huge drop.
That was one of my favorite things about touring. If I had any time off, so oftentimes, like if I'm with Flock and we're out touring back-to-back shows, there's never time to hit the coasters. But we had a day off in Chicago a couple years ago that I Ubered over to Great America, and my Uber driver said, so you're going to this amusement park by yourself? And I said, yeah, I'm on tour. Got this one day off. I've always wanted to go. I was at that amusement park in 1984 or 85. So it was the last time I was there. And the Uber driver said, man, I got nothing else to do. So he just shut his business down for the day, and he rode coasters with me. And we still chatted every once in a while on Facebook about it. But I tried to collect memories, as much as I could from those kind of events. And obviously right now, not able to do some of that, but they were sort of like pre-Mike bucket lists. And I know, I'm trying to think, I know we did Disney World, where our friend Eileen and Frankie hooked us up. And then we also did some California Adventure Disneyland, right? But so our friends that work at Disney, that was kind of nice to be able to have a little bit of a hookup, but
unbelievable. And then she hooked us up with that extra fast pass.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah. You know what?
Cool.
I actually shouldn't divulge that, because now every one of our mutual friends is going to ask her for the hookup. But actually, Disney's closed right now, so nobody can get that hookup, right? So
that's right. Plus, they discontinued it.
They probably did.
Yeah.
Once we used it, it was no longer available. But she's actually doing Delta. She's an airline attendant as well. She's out braving the skies right now with COVID. But our plan, yours and mine, was to go back to not Dominican, but they had moved 80s in the Sand into Cancun this year. next month, right? So we were going to go and celebrate a big, fun week of time with like Billy Idol and Tesla and Cheap Trick and all of our other favorite bands, right?
And to celebrate your birthday.
It's going to be my 50th birthday. It was going to be, but since it's not going to be, I decided with COVID this year that I'm just going to not have a 50th birthday, and I'm going to push it out a year. You know,
save it for next year.
Yeah. Since we both act 15, I guess we don't ever have to celebrate.
It's so true. So true. You know what you mentioned about like when you're on these tours, and I'm lucky enough that you keep inviting me back. I don't know if anybody's traveled with Kev or not, but there's no downtime. With this guy, there's no downtime. Like,
well, we don't want to like leave it all up to like nap time. Even if it wasn't just me, there is hardly ever any downtime anyway when you're out with the band. But that was the thing. I know a lot of bands that take this stuff for granted, right? So you go out and you're exhausted. But if you don't take every second in to enjoy every city, you're just going to miss it all. I know a million bands that tour, they don't get off the bus. If they're not doing the gig or sound check, they're just catching up on rest. And I figured, there's a reason I've had perpetual dark circles for decades, because I figured I'll sleep when I'm dead, but
you don't have any downtime, except you're hard to wake in the mornings. I've got a video of me waking you saying, dude, you overslept for sound check. Do you remember that when we were in LA?
That's right.
I should share that sometime. But you got to get out. Regrets are the worst thing to live with. But you don't stop, man. I squeeze in a nap. I don't know if you noticed, like, okay, you guys have fun at sound check. I'm going to go nap because I'm old, and that's how I kind of try to keep up with you. But yeah, you just go, and I hang on, and we have a lot of fun. I can't wait.
This is normally your nap time right now. I can't believe you're doing podcasts with me. This 3 o'clock.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. I think this next trip. Last year we didn't go to Dominican. There was a lot of chaos happening in the world and in my life anyway. But we didn't go, and we missed out on Sammy Hagar and some of the other Friends bands that were playing down there. But Steve Robinson, he was going to make it right this year. If you guys have not checked this out, go to 80sinthesand.rocks and check out. They'll show you. You'll see the lineup. You'll see the two resorts that they've combined into one for their event next year. And sign up now. I know that you can reserve your room ahead of time. This is something you don't want to miss out on. And then may as well.
Crud.
There we are. Sorry about that. And again, you need to go to the80screws.com while you're there. If you're going to be booking events and you just want to get out of the house and you've been like cooped up from quarantine for a while, the 80s Cruise is another event that we're playing next year that we did the first year, and it's insane. That's when I need you, Mike, to go on, because Jen and I, my ex-wife and I, went on the first year. And it was insane. You go to the best destinations all over the world in the Caribbean, and then you also play with these killer bands. So that first year we did, it was Huey Lewis and the News and Richard Marx and Kool and the Gang and Wang Chung. And that was my first overseas Flock of Seagulls gig, which was really fun. But
wow.
It won't be the same without you, so you have to go.
I'm not missing that one. And I'm not missing 80s in the Sand next year either. And it just dawned on me, like, at these 80s, I call them festivals because there's so many bands, everybody's happy and everybody's getting along. There's no divide of any type. Everyone is there having fun, and it's so refreshing. But yeah, if people are thinking about going, they should probably, because the great rooms go sooner than the garden or mountain view ones.
Right.
But I'm going on both of those. I won't miss them.
Nice. Yeah, man. We got to do it. How about, it looks like Sandy Klute said the 80s Cruise is the best vacation ever. So yeah, a lot of these friends have actually been on that event, that cruise, and a handful of our friends here have done the 80s in the Sand in Dominican. But I really feel blessed, to get those opportunities to go. It's nice to get to go and experience those adventures and take my buddy.
And I feel blessed as well. Words kind of overused sometimes, but you invite me to these things, and I can't believe it. Like, oh my God, I'm really here.
So,
And in the Dominican, you're walking along and like, oh, there's so and so, there's so and so. Bands that we used to watch on TV all the time. They're just mingling with everybody for the most part.
yeah.
It's pretty awesome. I recommend it to anybody.
Sandy Cluth is saying Cutting Crew in 2019. Cutting Crew is one of those we could talk about because in the Dominican, you had a little experience where our friend Josh, yeah, we might as well tell this story. Josh is
Not the whole thing.
Josh Thompson plays drums for Cutting Crew and Wang Chung, and you were going up to help Josh help pack up his stuff, and you talked about me inviting you to the shows. The only reason I invite you is because you wrap chords at the end of the night so perfectly. So when I finish playing and I got to pack up my electronic stuff, you're there, Johnny on the spot, and my stuff gets wrapped so well. So to me, it's worth putting up with all the rest of your crap because you wrap my stuff up so well. But you went up to go help Josh, and you want to share that story about what happened next?
Most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Josh is in Cutting Crew and Wang Chung. He's their drummer, and he's one of our homies. And I said, hey, I'd like to try to help. I don't know what to do. And he goes, yeah, hold this flashlight. Anyway, so I held it, and then I wrapped a cord, and he saw my cord wrapping talents. And anyway, so then we go from the backstage area to their dressing room. And how much of this story do you...
Share away, man. Tell it all. You bet.
Well, one of them started, changing clothes, and I look up, and there's a naked dude from one of those bands, and I'm like, okay, well, I think it's time for me to go,
He's proud of that. It's Nick Van Eed, the lead singer. He's all proud of it. It's okay.
You should be proud of that. But I'm not going to get specific, but I was like, oh, okay, he wins.
Yeah.
And then I leave, and it was like a catacomb, trying to find my way from the backstage area to like where everybody else was.
Yeah.
And ABC was getting ready to go on stage, and I saw no other way out, so I kind of walked up like I knew what I was doing. I said, excuse me, ABC, and I walked through them, and they looked, and I jumped off the stage, and then they came on stage right after me. I had no business being back there, but
you look like you knew what you're doing. That's
I pretend.
That's the key.
Yeah.
I shouldn't tell people that, but that is, if you're at one of those events and you just look like you know what you're doing, that usually gets you past the issues.
It does. It gets me past security typically because we don't have like laminates or sticky backstage passes when you're with the band typically.
Yeah.
I just wander around like I know what I'm doing, and they're like, "Oh, hey." I'm like,
Remember
yeah, that's right.
Remember when you and I went to Berlin and we walked up on the stage, and all of a sudden Terry Nunn just jumped on my shoulders, and I had no idea that was going to happen, and I had to carry her. Well, that.
Yeah, no idea it was going to happen. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I've got video of that. And then when after Berlin was done and Loverboy was playing, remember, and Mike came over and gave you
the shakers.
all your buddies. They're all your friends, and I just get to meet them, and I think that's so cool. You introduced me to everybody.
It's been, the cool thing is that you always act like, you belong. I mean, you never fanboy out. And so a lot of the guys that might be a little bit standoffish because they, they're used to people kind of coming up to, ask them for autographs or pictures, and you're always just super cool about it. So like my Flock of Seagulls bandmates, they consider you family. You really are. You're an extra member of the band, and you've been really helpful and a lot of fun to be around. When we're on the road, man, it gets exhausting, and everybody works hard. And so when you're wiped out, and some of the people that you might be around peripherally are challenging and difficult, you're a breath of fresh air, man. It's been really, really great having you there, especially, if that's one thing that people might not realize, man. If you're on tour and your family's at home and whatever kind of chaos is happening at home, you feel so helpless. There's nothing you can do, whether there's something with your kids or your partner or whatever, and you're stuck, traveling. it's really nice to have somebody that is an objective person that can just be a voice of reason and hilarity and levity, So all sorts of people in the chiming in here talking about you being my man crush. Yeah, I'm really proud to have you as a bro, there. But we should all be so lucky, to have somebody that supports them so much when we're out there traveling.
Well, it's easy. It's an easy role. It's just me being me, and I'm relieved that especially Mike and the guys in your band, Pondo. Is Pondo watching?
Nope. Pondo doesn't do any social media at all.
Oh, that's right. Forgot about that.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah, it's honestly, it's a big relief to me that these guys actually like me.
Yeah. You haven't been one of those guys that pushes your way into dressing rooms,
like the Bengals dressing room.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You haven't cost me the opportunity to have people,
And you know why? That's for two reasons. One, that's not me, and two is I want to be invited back, and I am every time so far.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But some of the adventures that you and I had, I was just thinking about even shows that I've always wanted to see. Back home, I had one day off this last year on tour, and you got tickets to Heart and Joan Jett, and I'd never seen Joan. I know I've seen pictures with you and Joan. You've hung out with her a handful of times, it looks like, but it was so cool of you to hook me up with that show. I remember just coming back for that one day, and you reciprocated by bringing me along to have a good hang,
Well, that's nothing. But you know what sucks is we had tickets for Sammy this summer and Guns N' Roses this summer.
Yeah.
But that pesky virus thing kind of ruined our plans. We will see them.
To this day, I've still never seen Guns N' Roses. I can't believe
still love
it.
You, brother. It's all right.
Yeah, I know. I grew up in Montana, man. They were nowhere near,
They are playing there, or they were scheduled to play in Bozeman, I think. My friend Chris Rainey had tickets for that. They were playing somewhere in Great Falls. No, I don't remember where, but somewhere in Montana.
Yeah, that's insane.
Probably the first time, and I will get you to a Guns N' Roses concert.
We'll do it, yeah, for sure. Even if we have to do, we have to talk our way and go backstage so that you can bring Axl, the stuff that you stole from the first time backstage.
Oh man, did I ever tell you about my conversation with him?
You have, but why don't you share it?
Oh, Chris said Missoula, Montana.
Okay.
It was that day that Al Scott and I were in Sacramento, and the band pulls up on this bus and their tour bus, and them and a whole bunch of groupies stagger off the bus. No Axl. And so I hear Axl's coming. He's got his own bus because he's got some issues. I'm like, oh, well, whatever. It's Axl. And I see it pull up, and he's sitting on the steps of the bus, kind of almost in a fetal position. And he gets off, and he's walking right towards me. And I said, here's my conversation with Axl. I said, hey, Axl. And he goes, hey, man.
That's it.
Well, that was it. Well.
Oh, yeah. Life-changing moment, huh?
It was. I'll never forget. I remember every word of that conversation.
I think he may have written a book about that conversation, actually.
How I Met the Best?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
What are you doing to stay sane these days, buddy?
I'm not sane at all, brother. This is bad. It's nuts. I played softball. We snuck and had a softball league, even though we weren't supposed to.
Oh.
I do that, and then the occasional kayaking adventure with you. You and I and our kids. Two of our kids went camping a few weeks ago before all the smoke.
Yeah.
So I try to get out.
Yeah. What about? I know that you've still been able to at least get one DJ gig in, with Wild Hair, right? So,
yeah. I'm doing trivia on Wednesday nights at the Oregon City Wild Hair, beginning at 7:00. Little shameless plug there, but doing that. I think I've done 3 weddings this summer is all.
Wow.
Next year is going to be insane for weddings because most of them have rescheduled for next year. So, yeah, not much work.
That's insane. I think about how many weddings you normally do. That's a lot of the reason Mike doesn't get to come out on tour with me during the summer is that he's doing weddings, 3 and 4 a week, right? So
yeah, and doesn't it figure that I've got all this spare time, and well, now you do too. But
Yeah.
we'll have fun while we're here.
We'll have to. I worry about like our areas that we normally kayak. They burned up this last week. Did you see that?
I had a friend text me because I like Estacada Lake at MacGyver Park, and she said, did that burn down?" It could be.
It did. It looked like, yeah. I saw like the map of the fire shows right over the top of it. So we'll have to see, But I'm hopeful that people are safe, and that's the big thing, man. So I think we're going to get to go back to our homes maybe tomorrow.
Good.
It looks like the evacuation zone is dropping back, and we're supposed to have rain overnight, so that'll be good.
Don't you think that we're supposed to get this rain, and you've extinguished campfires where you like pour your water on embers, all that smoke? Don't you think that might affect the amount of smoke we have in the air?
Yeah, no, the air quality index back home is already like 3 times worse than any place else in the world right now.
Yeah, it's over 500 this morning.
God, yeah. Well, when the rain comes, I know it'll get smokier for a bit, but I'm hopeful that that's just very short term. We can get back and start putting our house back together and all that. But I'm grateful to have a place, man. It's just been nice to be able to escape for a little bit. So again, thanks to my pals Keith and Cheryl for giving my kids and I a place to go. But
what a bonus!
Big time.
Next Saturday, Jay May and I are going crabbing over in that area.
The ocean was packed today. Since I could actually see the water, crabs lining the sand, huge crabs. And I know that this is the time that they're out there, but I've never seen so many really large Dungeness right up there on the beach. So
you're kidding me.
Shells, like the birds have taken them, but more pelicans than I've ever seen in my life. I was watching huge flocks of pelicans just up and down the surf line today, and I've never seen so many crabs. So you'll have a good turnout for sure.
No flocks of seagulls.
There are plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah, the joke never gets old. Look at, they even crapped on me. Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah. I thought about wearing mine, but I put on this new one because it kind of matches my ring.
Yeah. I'm glad you're matchy. I just grabbed like 3 different shirts for the evacuation, so I keep wearing the same one. Any other adventures that you could think of that we could tell stories about that won't get you in trouble?
I was just worried about the Dominican Republic one because of that thing I did that you were really disappointed in me.
You want to talk about that?
Oh, I don't.
Well, you brought it up. I'm just asking.
Please, for God's sake, don't.
How are you still alive is what I want to know.
And what's funny is we're doing it all sober and stuff. Imagine, I'm glad we weren't close friends during those days because we probably wouldn't have survived. But yeah, man, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
I just try to keep up with you, and wow.
We have many more. Yeah.
Oh, I know. We're just getting warmed up.
That's right. Yeah. No. A handful of shows. We had like 75 things booked, this year that were all canceled and pushed back. But I know, aside from the Cancun adventure, and hopefully Lost 80s Live's going to come back this next year. We were going to be touring with, I think Human League, maybe. I don't remember. I like that your friends are all laughing about that. They all know the story. You told them.
They don't. They don't know that one part.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
ignore them.
Yeah, I won't look at this. I should just mention that the Mike's known now, I think, in Punta Cana for some bravery that he pulled off.
That is stupid. That wasn't brave. That was really stupid.
I agree.
It was.
I wasn't even there, but I know
I
that.
Snuck out. I said, "Hey, dude, I'm going for a walk." But yeah, I learned.
Yeah.
I won't. I'll reconsider my priorities next time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man, we got a lot of cool adventures ahead of us, and next summer we'll make up for lost time from this year.
That's right. If you guys are planning weddings and you want to have Mike May do your wedding, book it in the spring or early fall next year, and just leave the summer to us. Because I think.
Yeah, good point. Wait, no, I need that money. But
Julie Jackson says she knows the story. Eric, you told Eric the story?
I don't think I told everybody the ending part of that story.
Oh, so you guys think but yeah, I think you might be secretly proud of it, Mike. That's the deal. But I love that we've made so much suspense that my kids are both going, "What? What did he do?"
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Dirty Uncle Mike's got stories, guys. Yeah. Hey, listen. Before we wrap up, is there any way that people can get a hold of you and book you for your adventures? Like, do you have any website out there that they can hook you up for some DJ events?
I do, and Eric might know the story, but anyway, go away. I've got a great website. I've got a great web builder and in all site design. What do you do? It's confusing to me. It's way over my head. Kevin does the most amazing web work you've ever seen, and he is the one who did my website for my DJ biz. It's www.moondancedjs.com, and you can check into that. So yeah, if you're needing a wedding DJ or any DJ for that matter, track me down. All my contact info is on there, thanks to Kevin. And
you know what? You actually just went into the DJ voice, and I love this. You want to give me a little bit of your station calls? No, this is so good. All right, everybody, I want you to do me a favor. Everybody out there, close your eyes.
Oh, no.
I just want you to picture your favorite radio personality, and then give me a little Race Banner, will you?
Oh, man. Dude, you put me on the spot.
I know. This is good, man.
All right.
All right. All right, we're going live in 3, 2, 1.
That was Guns N' Roses, Paradise City. It's been a long time. All right.
Yeah.
There was Guns N' Roses.
How about your wedding DJ?
Oh, I'm so G-rated on that. The radio thing's easy because it's just really me talking. Yeah. But like end of a song, okay, we're coming out. 3, 2, 1. There went Guns N' Roses with "Sweet Child of Mine." I'm Mike May on 101 KUFO, Portland's rock station. So there we go.
It is, man. All right. Yeah,
cool, man.
I remember the Race Banner days. Now, when I hear your voice, I think of those old guys. What was the Craig the Dog-Faced Boy was on there with you, right? And
he was on after me. He was on there with my buddy Porkchop Noah.
Right.
They had a great show together, but I was on before them. From there, I went to the alternative station, 94.7 NRK.
That's right.
And then I went back to being Race Banner there.
Oh, you did? So you got to use the same name in both places?
No, I was Mike May on KUFO and then switched back to Race Banner.
Oh, okay.
NRK, but yeah.
Right on. Some people want to hear the PG-13 version. So what you can do, Sandy Cluth, if you want to, send an email to Mike through that website. He can tell you the real story. I'm not going to do it here. I've got sponsors and kids in the other room, So I really appreciate just the entertaining escape from chaos for a little bit. If hopefully things will clear up a little bit, you and I will get a chance to go out and do a socially distant cup of coffee this next week when I get back. Kayak if the smoke is down, and you guys have any other plans to clear things up for you and your because your mom is nearby, right?
Yeah, she's nearby.
All right, yeah. So you guys have any plans to get out there and take care of smoke damage? And
we're okay there. We've got a couple fall projects to deal with, painting, things like that. But yeah, we're fine here. It's just smoky, and there is a lot of soot on everything.
Yeah.
But like where you guys are in points further south is bad.
Right.
It's gonna be a while. But yeah, my next great adventure is gonna be next Saturday with Jordan, celebrating his birthday. We're going crabbing.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good time. Kelly's, you gonna go to Kelly's again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kelly's Marina. They don't deserve a huge plug, but I will say Kelly's Marina and Nehalem up here. Good spot, right? So.
One of the people chiming in that remembers I used to have a signature goodbye thing where I'd say, "Stick me with the fork, I believe I'm done." That was my radio goodbye. Lawrence was my buddy from high school, and he's the one that took me to this special spot in Wheeler where Kelly's is, and where we caught, I don't know, like 50 crabs in 2 days. So that's where we're headed.
Awesome. Very good.
Yeah.
That sounds like a perfect way for you to do the station ending there with your tag. You want to wrap. I don't have any music to accompany us. I'll have to all that stuff back at home, but you want to play us out with a little bit of that?
Yeah, why not? Kev, thanks for having me on your show. Thanks for the adventures. You know, and when Kev takes me on these adventures, it's not like I just kind of stand off in the wings or on the side. He makes a point of it to immediately introduce me to all these bands that I grew up watching on MTV. It's not like I'm just there like, oh, wow, I know who that is. Kev says, hey, this is my buddy Mike, and gives a whole bio on me. And that just blows my mind when you do that, dude. It'd be so easy just to pretend I'm not there like most people do. But so anyway, thanks for having me on your show. And at this point, I'd like to say, stick me with the fork. I believe I'm done.
I love it. Thanks, Mike May. Beautiful. Have a great week, everybody. Take care of yourselves. We'll be talking to you from back in my studio in the next couple of days, thanks to 5-Star Guitars. And if you have not yet, please go to youtube.com/allaccesslive with Kevin Rankin. Subscribe, and you'll see a lot of other fun guests. Got some good ones coming up. Another great DJ from the area, Dave Scott, is on Wednesday. And we'll be talking to Zia McCabe from Dandy Warhol soon, too. So thanks again, everyone. Have a beautiful day. Thanks, Mike May. I love you, bro.